Hello everyone, I'm Ikibu, the World of Warplanes Community Manager for EU, and welcome to another community stream. So today is a little bit special in that we're going to be streaming about patch 2.0.7 and the new game mode that came with it. I'm going to briefly go through some of the changes that are on there, answer as many questions as I possibly can. I'll make sure I write them down so as we can get a more comprehensive set of answers out to you as soon as possible. And then hopefully you'll see some good gameplay, some visual representation of these changes, and I hope we can keep you entertained over the next 3 hours. So let's get straight to our hangar, and I'm going to talk through some of the changes that came in with the camouflage system. Some of you may have already seen the patch notes, but for those that haven't, we have changed the camouflage system in World of Warplanes. Now they don't just provide a concealment bonus as before, now they will provide other bonuses depending on the type of camouflage and whether it's suitable for that area. Now I'll go into more of this so far. I just want to say hello to everybody in Facebook chat and Steam chat if anybody's watching there, and hello to Dimmy and XR and Doc in Twitch chat so far. Hopefully we'll get a couple more people joining in as we go. And I hope everybody's having a good evening so far. Right. First things first, I'm going to show you the camouflage system now. I want to apologise for the machine gun sounds. I'm just going to turn those down very briefly on this one. As you know, with the event hangar, it can get quite loud with those with those gun sounds. So you'll see here the camouflage is divided into areas on no bonuses for the map. So that means for summer map you get nothing. These don't give you any bonuses, and you can see exactly that when you hover over them. For those that do provide a bonus, so a concealment bonus, you will see exactly what they provide. 20% concealment, 10% reduction in AA damage basically, and a 5% reduction in gunner damage. You can also get other camouflage that is universal. So this is something that can be applied on all maps, and it will provide a concealment, but it won't be as good as an individual camouflage for that particular season. On top of these, you can also have what are called special, gift, and other types of testing camouflage, for instance. So let's see if I can find, yeah, we go. So here's the special. Now specials give you different bonuses on there. In this instance, you get a 3% cruise speed bonus, which is pretty nice on one of my favorite paint schemes for this aircraft, which is always shiny. If you're not bothered about AA damage resistance and concealment, the cruise speed can be a really nice bonus. Alternatively, if you are somebody who has been playing this game for a long time, maybe you've got parade camouflage, seasonal camouflages, or any other of those types of camouflages from events, you will have aircraft experience or crew experience camouflages that you can get. We're just going to ignore that one for now, because I'm going to be taking out my tier 10 ground attacker next, and I will explain why in just a second. So the first thing we're going to do now is apply our highest level camouflage. As you can see, camouflage costs have gone up as a result of these changes because of the bonuses they can give, but the same as always, all you can do is switch from gold to credits and you'll apply it for 30 days. I'm just going to quickly catch up on chat, make sure everybody's okay with this so far. Hello Bartek, hello Rune, hello Jimmy, and let's have a look. And there we go. So next thing, I know there are reports so far of a bug with the camouflage system, in that what it will do is add a cumulative effect to the application of the camouflage. So it's 80,000, and what it will show you is that it's going to cost you a multiplicative amount based on how many times you've applied it. Now this is a visual bug. This is not how much you are actually paying. Okay, so with this one, if I click apply, it says that I'm going to spend this much, but it won't do that. It will actually only take the one time that you apply it. It's just a visual bug. I've reported it. It is being processed right now. So just bear with on that one. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but there's not much I can do about it. We're just going to have to wait for it to get fixed. Next thing you can talk about are nose emblems, nose art. Now, different aircraft, again, you can have special nose camo and nose emblems that will provide a 3% crew bonus, which is pretty nice in that it doesn't matter which emblem you choose or which nose art you choose, it will always be the same bonus. So you don't lose out by changing something on there. It's always the same 3% crew. And emblems, you have the ones that you buy with Universal, so 2% crew experience, like with these. Or you will have, if you've been playing a long time, you'll have lots of awarded emblems from special events, maybe seasonal events, contests, and things like that. And as you can see, still 2% crew skill. I don't lose or gain anything from this. It's still the same flat benefit. So click apply, and I should have paid for all of those. Is everybody following so far? Are we all good on this one? I believe the change in the camo system, Layden, may be too much of an issue right now. I'm not sure if it's possible. It's something you can put in the suggestions forum. The camouflage system is still going to keep being worked on, but we will see. But so far, this is the system that World of Warplanes has always had, so it's trying to change it to make sure it works in the current system without breaking anything. Now, I'm going to show you why I have chosen the ground attacker first. And that's because I have an operational order for one of the new bombers, which is the Junkers 86E. I've already made progress on the first one, but the next one is destroying 60 ground targets. So I'm going to have to get stuck in on this one in the new bomber game mode. Close that one. Now, I want to ask first, do you want me to open my crates that I've already got now, or do you want me to wait? Wait for any answers if people are still watching. So awarded emblems still give 2% crew XP, the same as universal emblems. All emblems have the same flat bonus, whether they're ones you've earned or ones you buy, so you don't lose out on anything. So we've got one person is saying this. We've got Goat Messiah, who should be streaming now. He's got himself a vampire operational order. So we've got one person saying open, and let's have a look. That's not fantastic. I'll be honest, that's a pretty bad loot crate. The next one better be good. That's actually still pretty bad, unfortunately. So our loot crate was pretty punishing this time. What we're going to have to do then is make sure I grind out these loot crates for the event and make sure I don't lose out on anything. I really want the vampire. I desperately want the vampire. So for Raj Zor, sorry, what control scheme you used to play with is very much a personal thing. I cannot play with mouse and keyboard as well as I play with a joystick. For me, the joystick makes the game a much better playing experience for myself. A controller, if you're used to a controller, is quite good, but I'm not used to it, so I'm used to the camera effects and the controls of a joystick. When I tried the controller, it was terrible. For me, I know some people who swear by it. Mouse and keyboard is probably the most default because most people don't want to buy a joystick for this one game that they play. If you can find a second-hand joystick just to try it out, I would strongly suggest that. We are working on, with the video team, in creating a joystick setup guide. Now, I've got various other joysticks in the office, so we can work on those. And I can show you the different types of effects it has on in-game and how it plays differently and how it will behave differently depending on your setting. Hello, Vo, and hello, Antonio. Yep, I have, for those who don't know, I generally have terrible luck. I have some of the worst luck of anybody you will meet. I think one of the reasons I have 400 barrack slots is purely because I bought a ton of loot crates before 2.0, and I was trying to get the JLA1 Shenyang, and instead I just got 400 barrack slots cumulatively in the end. So the F94 meme contest on Facebook, I was wanting to end it this week, but I am aware that people are quite busy with the whole patch thing, so I'm going to leave it a little bit longer, and then I'm going to do a re-prompt, so make sure people know about it next week, and then hopefully I'll be able to close it next week. Now, as you can imagine with the patch, I've been quite busy this week, and I will probably be quite busy until the end of next week, so we'll see what happens. Now, with the new game mode, it might seem like going as a ground attacker is superfluous, considering there are bombers on the way, but for those who haven't checked the notes, it's really important that you as a ground attacker take out these AA guns, because these AA guns can actually take out an entire flight of the bombers with little effort. They can actually decimate them, and as you can see with my hit points, I'm losing them pretty rapidly right now. Just going to drop the bombs now and try and stall out because I am suffering. Picked up by R. See, if I'd have known it was a player that was behind me, that would have been very, very different. Being shot at by 21101s will do that to your hit points. But we should have got the bombers there okay. If you look at the top there, we have 9 bombers reaching the target, and it gives you a track of how many bombers are reaching to the final goal. So we're down to 8, unfortunately, and we need 10 more to get to the target for us to gain a victory. But the first sector is almost gone. Yep, we've managed to flip the first sector, which gives us an added bonus on where our bomber flight spawns and where we will spawn in the future. Our next group is heading towards over the sector to the target. Our first bomber wave, if you look in the top, has only got 6 bombers left out of the entire group on there, and 10 on this second wave here. So the first wave is losing quite a chunk of targets, and we've got none of them to the end goal just yet. It wasn't a ground attacker Dimmy, it was the tier 10 light fighter. Hello Bora, how are you doing today? 5 bombers left on that one. Fortunately, my teammate ground attackers are doing a good job in suppressing these AA guns. I'm just going to quickly try and help them out with this. Now, this is not my favorite ground attacker in the game, but it should help me get specialized on this aircraft while I'm busy trying to grind out this event stuff. Should be my last bomb. I'm getting bullied by those player aircraft again. I can feel it. Yeah, so those were the rockets from one of the other aircraft. And the reason I've gone here and I've tried to drag them as low as possible is because it means that these aircraft now are busy shooting me instead of going after the bombers. And that's going to help us in the long run. All 5 bombers from our first wave got to the target. That's actually pretty devastating for the enemy team. We only need 5 more to get to the end of the map here for us to now win this battle. The auto mod is pretty drastic, Dimmy, because it's by default, I believe. We can look at it in the future, but of course, you have to remember this channel was used for World of Warships and World of Tanks, so it has to be pretty strict on the things in the things that it senses and looks after. 5 bombers, and we are now at the next wave. You can see here now, it shows you how long before the next bomber waves respawn, and how long before these actually activate in terms of they're building up their defenses and activating. I'm not sure how many bombers from the last wave got through. I love that air raid siren though. I'm not sure what percentage of attackers win this, because it's pretty easy to win as a defender if you focus on objectives and not on kills. As you saw there, the enemy team focused more on taking me down than taking out the bombers, making sure that you've got to find that balancing act. You've got to make sure that the ground attackers don't reduce too many of your AA guns, but you also need to make sure you don't focus on protecting your AA guns when you could probably take out the bombers faster if you're in an aircraft with lots of firepower. You can't wreck the AA guns before they spawn. So if anybody has any aircraft they want to see me play, now's the time to ask. I would prefer if it's in a ground attacking style role, but it's not the end of the world if it's not. I will be able to get these points later on for the operational order. But if you want to see how a certain aircraft plays in this sort of game mode, ask away. Because of the length of game on that one, it was actually really, really quick. I didn't get to score too much on there, unfortunately. So Yak 30 is the first request. And then the A26. So where's my Yak 30? It's been a while since I played this, so I apologize. I need to set this up. What's my bonus? Yeah, I'm happy with that gun sight. You can English. Aircraft hit points, yes. Strongest part of this aircraft is maneuverability, so we want to enhance that, and we want to take increased engine thrust. Then the standard, as always, fire extinguisher, always. Repair control surface. And the reason I've taken that instead of improved maneuverability is because this aircraft is already really maneuverable for the tier. If I lose out on the maneuverability, I'm going to get punished for it. Maximum 1-2, improved maneuverability, and let's go. I will play the A26 next. Let me know if there's anything else, and if you've got any questions about the patch, about this game mode, anything like that, now's the time to ask. If I can't answer now, I will be writing the questions down, and we should be able to get you, as long as they're not too difficult, we should be able to get you the answers by the end of tomorrow, because I'll be passing these on directly to the developers, and they will be trying to put out a video, a set of answers out as soon as possible. So, like with command center bombers, the way that you take them down is by, if the team's defending them, that's great. If they're defending the bombers, that means that they're not attacking the ground targets too much, which means that they can do them. Your main goal should be not killing the enemy team, but your main goal is actually not letting the bombers get through. The bombers are what's going to win or lose you the game, not the amount of kills you've got. It's the bombers. Focus on those, and everything else will fall into place. Which hard mission, Effie? I'm waiting for Angel to try and end up stream sniping me a little bit. How is everybody finding the patch so far? And as is usual, I'm on the defending side because I'm in a light fighter, and I can already feel that I'm moving away from the mic, so I'm going to get it closer, sorry. My job is now going to be taking out these bombers. Let's have a look. Yeah, this is a lot of firepower on the ground attackers. I need to worry about the LA-15 and the Yak-19, but my main goal is making sure that this guy can do his job. This guy is going to eat those bombers alive. We know where the bombers have spawned, so let's boost there as quickly as possible. Apologies, I just need to make sure my Facebook chat is updating. So far, my Facebook chat hasn't broken this week, so hopefully it will keep doing the working okay. The Yak-30 is a community favourite because of its reliable firepower. It has the 323mm cannons, little lamp in the middle of the nose, excellent manoeuvrability and roll, and it's a very reliable aircraft. The only reason that I'm going to shoot this person here and not go too far out of the way is I want to make sure my teammate survives this engagement. I can see somebody firing at me. Okay. So, again, taking out the guy behind my teammate. And now let's worry about these bombers again. All we have to do is make sure that 10 bombers don't make it to the intended target by the time it gets there. The enemy's done a good job at suppressing our AA guns. Oh, that's going to start really hurting soon. Committed. There we go. If you go low altitude, that's where you're then not in a position to take out these bombers. And these bombers, as I mentioned, are going to need to be your main priority. As you can see, this plane isn't great at taking out bombers. You lack the really strong burst firepower that really helps you take out high hit point pool targets. But it does a decent enough job at it. It would be nice if I had rockets, but we can make do with what we've got. We've got 2 bombers left on this first wave, and then we're going to need to haul to the next target to make sure that none. There you go. We've secured the first wave. None have got through. They're down to 9 on the enemy team for the next wave. We're getting there. We're making a good impact. There we go. I've helped my teammate break out from the engagement of this enemy. Quickly boost to these bombers. Now, as I mentioned, the AA guns are the best way of defending against bombers, but if you've got so much firepower in the enemy team that you know you're going to lose too many, don't worry about losing them. For the most part, multiple planes will take out bombers much faster than a bunch of AA guns will. So 9 bombers are through. Just going to focus on knocking down as many hit points as we can in a straight line without falling into the trap of those AA guns. Oh, no, those are big guns that are shooting me. Those aren't AA guns or rear guns. There it is. Yep, there's that player. I knew somebody was shooting at me that wasn't a rear gunner. So 6 bombers to get through. Looks like I set somebody on fire. They've got a little bit further to go yet on these bombers. My teammates are diving on them. 5. Okay, so that's that next wave that we need to deal with, and then the third wave hasn't spawned yet. I would prefer it if we'd not let 5 get through, but as you saw in the last game, when the bombers weren't focused on so much, they were able to destroy far too quickly. And you'll see this top bar disappear into 5 out of 10. We just lost a ton of AA targets now because of the enemy team attacking them. I'm now going to focus on keeping this sector so our AA guns stay alive and shooting. Whoa, that's a bot trying to ram me. And the reason I'm doing this now is because the bombers aren't in range enough for me to be able to combat them too much right now. I'll worry about that later when I really need to. or once they're in more range. Need to deal with this LA-15 because he's the biggest threat right now on the enemy team. Right, so that siren means that our AA guns have actually started to fire at those bombers. The LA-15 has made a mistake trying to turn with me right now. I will catch up with chat in just a second. As you can see, the new game mode is... it's a little bit more action-packed and fast-paced than the other modes. You don't get a whole lot of time to breathe, usually. Alright, that I-211 is actually pretty scary. Somebody's trying to shoot us from behind. Whoop, that was a... I can't work out if that was an enemy or a friendly rocket right then. It definitely feels like somebody's shooting at us that isn't ground attack, rear gunner again. Which, I was right, it would be this person. And the enemy's just spawned up behind me. And there's the 228. Yep, the ground attacker can have it quite easy if you're able to just keep doing your thing and the enemy focuses on you instead of the bombers. Right, we need to really focus now. 9 bombers left on that first wave, and yeah. Granted, I am going to spawn in the path of them, so I can probably help put a big dent in them, and the enemy team has dropped out from attacking them right now. But we only have 5 points left on our final base target, so we need to deal with those as soon and as quick as possible. There's one. I'm going to hit the air brakes and lose all of my speed right now to try and stay behind these as much as possible. It is pretty risky, in the amount of damage to these AA guns is really bad for me, but it's kind of one of those do or lose moments right now. And there's that one. Keep air brakes on. Keep air brakes on. Ramming speed! And I think we got him out of the way just enough. Yeah, we did. So through ramming him, that means we should have 2 lives left on the base if all 3 make it through, but I highly doubt they will. And now we need to rush to the next wave, because 8 of those are making it through, and that's no bueno. Okay, 2 left on that one. I am very worried about the amount of bombers that are going to probably make it through on this one. I think this wave could end up losing us the game. Right, there's 5 left. I need 1 more. I don't... Yeah, not enough time. As soon as you can no longer see them and you see the bombing action, that means that they made it through. And what you saw there was our team moved up. Our team moved away from the bombers and escorting them, which was very much the wrong move. Let me catch up on chat again. I haven't won on defense yet, ZRMD, but I haven't played an aircraft which I would probably use for this game mode above all others. The AK-30 is great at escorting if you can help your heavy fighters and your really hard-hitting, more ordnance-carrying fighters do their job on multi-roles. Yeah, so things like the Pancake, the F-94D, even the 1092 or the 1101 with those 420s, something with really good hefty firepower and enough burst damage in the rockets would be perfect for this game mode. And hello, Jan. Hello, Q. How are you doing today? And then somebody asked for the A26. Got a long way to go to the other side of the carousel, unfortunately, but we'll get there. Did I get this one set up okay? Yes, we did. Let's go. When you're first, you're not always on defeat, and usually when you are first, it's because you've done a really good job. But as I mentioned on that last game, I don't know if you saw, my team did a good job in the third wave in stopping those bombers. We got down to 2, which was great, but we had too many people stay there and then move to the middle. They needed to relocate to the flank that I ended up going to. This game mode very much relies on a lot more situational tactical awareness, looking what your team's doing, and you need to react to it. You must. You cannot stay farming points, kills, or damage. It's not what will win or lose you the game. Yes, XR. So as I mentioned, the F94D would probably, or when I've played it in testing this game mode, the F94D is perfect for this. The way I always look at it when you're first on lose, it's kind of like tanks. If you have an amazing game and you're able to do a lot of damage, it usually means that the rest of your team hasn't done that good of a job. If you are in the middle to bottom, that usually means everybody on your team's performed, and so they were able to push you out of the way and you were forced out of it. There are 3 phases, Bartek. The first phase is the one that you usually see. The second phase is usually the one that's more hectic. And then you've got the third phase, which is the all or nothing. Everything's decided by then.
Show me what you can do, pilots. Let's roll.
I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I haven't played the bomber in this game mode, but I imagine it's going to be pretty vicious. I imagine I'm going to get spanked a little bit on this one. I do love, by the way, I absolutely love this new bomb site view. I'll show you here, because this actually shows you the spread side to side, which will move from there to there, and it actually makes bombing at lower altitude far, far better. I love this one. There we go. Oh, those AA guns really hurt. I dropped that one way too late. Let's run away. Okay, there's 2 ground targets. As you can see, bombers aren't necessarily the best class for this game mode, just because your reload time can leave you completely at the mercy of the multitude of AA guns here. But as was one of the changes in the game mode, changing altitude, changing direction, changing speed all reduce the effect of the AA guns. You need to use that more than you used to be more effective and not take anywhere near as much damage as you used to from these from the AA installations. So let's quickly get to the next one. Nice to see some familiar faces in Twitch chat. Again, if anybody's got any questions about the game mode, the patch, maybe you've got any bugs or things that you're not sure of, now's the time to ask them. For the most part, I think I've managed to head off most of the issues and questions through threads and parts on the Discord, but there's always something that you miss. Always. Let's get this one, and then bail. Oh, what? I didn't finish him off. What? Hello, Sup RSPI? Yes, I don't recognize your name, but I know Q, I know Dimmy, I know Goat, I know Angiari. There are a lot of familiar faces, not just from the community, but from when I used to stream as well. So, what do you mean? Do you mean can you earn certificates? Because if that is the question, yes, you can. You can earn them from the crates, and you can also buy them, as will be announced shortly, if you don't have the time to drop them from the crates. There we go. We've had a nice impact on this one. So 3 are making through from the first wave, and 13 are making it through so far on the second. Oh no, 2 and 1. So the team's done a good job taking out those. I think we're getting picked up by a player right now. Yes, we are. I have no idea who this Fitzy Butsley guy is. Fitz is a stranger. A stranger in the skies. I think I recognize his name from a long time ago, but I'm not sure. How you doing, Fitzy? How's the new PC working out for you? Stranger danger. See, stranger danger is the perfect phrase for this game, because if you don't recognize the person behind you, and if it's not blue, you know you're in trouble. Let's drop down again a little bit lower. Usually the only reason I go a little bit lower in my bomber, especially in this game mode, my reasoning behind it is that for the enemy to kill me, that means they've got to drop down to come get me, which means that the enemy is not high enough to intercept the bombers who they're going to need to shoot. That's the logic behind me doing this, and risk getting shot a lot more by these AA guns. I don't know if it works, but that's kind of my my rationale. Oh, got a bit of FPS drop right now. Granted, I am in the midst of a bazillion AA guns, so there's lots of sharp and pointy sparkly things. Okay. Run! Oh, they can only afford 1 bomber to get through. That means they failed on that second wave. The reason I'm bailing on here is I think I'm good. I'm going to need to drop back, help flip this a little bit more. But the enemy team has spawned on the side of this third wave. I don't think they're going to be able to get through too many of these 12 bombers, but we will see what happens. I'm way too low for this drop. Way, way too low for that drop. Let's drop them at this height just because I'm turning, which means that the bombs actually slide to the side a little bit. I'm glad to hear it, Fitzy, because the saga of your new PC wasn't the best. So operational orders are possible to do during this event and outside of the event. You have until the end of Fire Shores. I can't remember the exact date, but it's early November. You have until then to complete them. If you haven't completed them by that time, they will disappear. Even if you're progressing them, if you haven't finished them by the time the event's over, it's tough. Okay, so we're going to suicide drop a little bit right now. No, didn't work. I think he knew what was coming and managed to stop just in time. Do something a little bit silly for a bomber, but we'll see if it pays off. So far, it's looking good. And it worked. While he's shooting me, he's doing his job now. Let's go. So what I'm not sure what you mean, XR, by reworking bomber sites. If you could make ensure, because there are changes coming to bombers, and there will be new bombers on the way, but I'm not sure what it is that you're asking in terms of the changes. Hello, Klaus. How are you doing? The reason I don't generally use my rear gunner when I use a joystick is because you can't move your plane. You move with the joystick on your gun, so it's impossible to move your plane and makes it you're far more susceptible to it. I rely on the auto aiming system, the rear gunner, to do the job, and it seems to work okay for me. There is no joystick camera today, just because we forgot when we were setting up, I think. It does mean I can put my bottle and get myself set out a little bit more now. It will return next week, the famous joystick cam. The Venom, yes. The Venom's on here. That's where I think I've got my Venom on EU, but the Vampire is the one I want, and the 2 new bombers. You are not a bad person, Fitzy. You are a legend. It's nice to see you playing Planes against Fitzy. It's been a long time. Granted, I've been horrendously busy, so I've missed it. So there was the bomber. As you can see, if you know what you're doing, you can still win with the bomber. You're not as effective as maybe as in Conquest, but it is possible for you to distract the enemy and do a good job. Does anybody have an aircraft for me to play? I didn't see one on there. So for the new game mode, Klaus, I would actually say, unless your fighter has a lot of firepower, like on such as this, you're better off on a multi-role or a heavy that has good, consistent firepower or ordnance. XF90 I can do. do. While I remember, for those who do have issues with the operational orders, I have put a post up on the forums about it, but I will share here. If you have issues with the operational orders, take a screenshot of the mission and it being stuck, and take a screenshot of your result screen showing it not progressing, and we will compensate you the tokens to extend the mission. So I would always advise you extend it, and then you'll get the tokens reimbursed retroactively. And you will also be given the certificates to skip that mission until it is fixed. So let's have a look at the camouflage that we have in here. We've got concealment, AA guns and gunners, which are nice. Aircraft experience. Now, aircraft experience is nice, but I don't like that paint scheme. So we're going to go with this one. Oh. Because I like my gold. I'm a giant dragon and gold hoarding person. We're going to pay with credits. And then the nose art. Let's have a look at what we can pick up. No. It is possible that I may skip nose art just because I don't like some of these nose arts. It's pretty difficult for me to find a nose art I enjoy on this plane. For me, that amount of crew experience is nice, but we'll have to make do with that. All right, let's go. So I'm not sure how many premiums there are. I lost count with the addition of the Vampire and the 2 new German bombers. Those are premiums as well. Plus with the Yak 3T coming out, I have lost count. So XF90. So my next request was the Swift. It's a good plane. I love the Swift. And the Starfire, again, an excellent choice. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I talk into the mic while I'm writing. And the 109B. I can tell you that before the Vampire and the 2 new bombers, I was only 6 aircraft away from every aircraft in the game. So now I should be 9 short. Hello, Scout Nave. How are you doing today? Oh, and then the Tornado. Actually, the Tornado is a good option for this. I imagine the Tornado would be fantastic for this game mode. Waiting for this 100-second queue timer wall to kick in, and it will put us into a game, in a PvE game, more than likely. One of the things that was also changed in the patch was that it is now possible to have PvE games if the matchmaker cannot find you a suitable match, i.e. against a heavy fighter of the same tier, what you will end up having is people on the same side and against just pure bots enemy team, rather than forcing people against flights or up or down mismatched aircraft. And the reason that we've had those there is because, of course, you can't have ground attackers on the defending side. But there's the tier 10, and it's one tier 10, meant that I was very close to being in a PvE game. I don't remember your name, Scout. I do apologise if I've pronounced your name wrong. Let me know. My highest kills, if I remember correctly, is actually 29 aircraft. I have in, and that's not in a game. My highest is 29 in a single sortie. I don't remember how many it is in a game, but I think 29 is probably up there. I can have a look at the stat screen after this, and we can hopefully find out. Tier 10, it's not so much empty. It's because a lot of people are playing certain classes and roles. Okay, so this is no bueno. The only reason I'm shooting this person first is because if he gets behind me, it's game over. Oh, I forgot to change my equipment piece. This is not so good. And there's the HD3 bot. Getting bullied by bot heavies is not so fantastic. So, Volihang, I apologize if I said it wrong. I have played this game a lot for a long time. I would consider myself modestly above average as a player. There are some times when I play incorrectly or lazily, which means I could always play better, but yeah. Okay, let's not get picked up by heavies this time, hopefully. This is not great, having 12 bombers making it through. The only reason I'm not a big fan of this aircraft in this game mode is because your maneuverability is so poor and you have so little time on target, you have to slow all the way down, which is not what this aircraft is good at. Your aircraft excels at speed and getting in and out of trouble. Okay, so that's another heavy fighter again. Yep, there's the heavy fighter bot coming to bully me. So frags are kills. Scout. I need to commit to this bomber group. There's not a lot of cover coming from my bot teammates right now, unfortunately, but there's not much I can do to change that. Alright, there we go. Having to try and hit stalling speed. Yeah, we've definitely lost these. These bombers are going to get through in too much time. And yeah. The Yak 30 is a nice tier 10 plane. For me, it's not the best though. Personally, I think the 1101 or the I-215 are probably up there along with the tier 10 BVP. This is going to be a very short game. Very quick loss. Again, as I mentioned, this aircraft is not very good for this this game mode because you're not maneuverable enough. You have to slow down to stay on targets long enough to be able to do the damage that you need to do, and slowing down is not good for this plane at all. Everything outmaneuvers you, and I could swoop up and down, but the more I do that, the less time I'm shooting these bombers. And there's still going to be 3 too many making it through. We can afford 2 to make... no, we can afford 1 to get through. But it's going to be a GG, unfortunately. There you go. I knew that was going to come. Hi, Laffy. How are you doing? I don't remember the plane I got the 29 kills in. It is on my profile on the World of Warplanes webpage, though. What do you mean by that? Sorry, Rune. Bearing in mind that Russos doesn't have the Alpha and Beta aircraft either. And I can't think if there's any that he's missed out on. As a defender, you do need a cohesive teamwork effort. It's pretty hard to do when it's just bots, of course. But it is pretty difficult if you have all this firepower on there. We should have had the advantage. There's no way I should have died as much as that. But if both of those heavies are able to pick me up, and my bots aren't doing that, then there's not much I can do. Next one was a Swift. I think for this game mode, I would probably actually switch to maximum 1 and 2. I'm curious to see how this shiny camo plays on this aircraft. What do we get for this? The cruise speed. I'll keep it. I'll keep the cruise speed. Yes, Rune. So the Fortress bombers will be coming, hopefully, sometime in November. It's not set in stone. It's not promised that they're definitely coming. So far, the plan is roughly by Thanksgiving time for NA. But things can change very quickly. But that's the plan so far. Yeah, the XF-90 is phenomenal aircraft, but as I mentioned, unless you've got a lot of support to keep other heavies off of you, I wasn't able to swoop up and down on those bombers as much as I wanted to. Because if you give your back end to something like a Javelin, he's going to bully you. Yeah, I really want the ME210, Fitzy. I'm still campaigning for the ME210 to come back because I really want it. The certificate should be available on EU as well. I'm assuming that's aesthetics, Laffy. Okay, this aircraft, on the other hand, has the ability in the speed of the XF-90, but the added benefit of course, having light fighter maneuverability. The downside to this, you don't have the firepower that I think you would need to combat these bombers as much. But the J7W3 is probably going to do a better job. XF-90 is probably going to have a bad time, especially with 2 of them on our team. All right, let's quickly get stuck in. Ideally, I should stay over AA and do it that way. But I want to try and help my team by distracting the enemy and putting a big dent in these bombers as much as I can. Ideally, what would happen is our heavy fighters would take out the ground attackers. Then the ground attackers wouldn't be able to take out all of these, all of the AA guns, and a huge amount of damage would be popped onto these bomber groups from the AA installations. Just need to keep maneuvering and not die, which doesn't like it's going to happen with all these all these rear gunners, but we can give it a go. All right, we've lost that first set of AA installations, which is no bueno. Can we get the first bomber? Yep, that's the first. Time to bail. Those AA guns are really starting to do some damage now. Helping out whoever that person was shooting at, and hopefully don't die to the rear gunner. Rear gunners of doom. So the Alpha and Beta planes, see if I can remember, there is the Bell XB-77, a Tier 5 light fighter, the Pegasus, and the ME-210. Apologies, Klaus, my German is terrible, so I'm not sure what you're asking. Hopefully that bot doesn't fall up behind me, we'll see. Oh, wow. That's not good. 9 bombers are going to get through right now, which is really not good. Oh! Yes, the bombers do seem to resist ram attacks very well right now. They are pretty nasty at it, and I didn't need that to happen. Okay, we're down to 3 bombers making it through. That's a lot better than previously, but it's still 3 too many. I don't think no, we didn't get it in time. As soon as those markers disappear, that means they're through to the target, and it's too late. It's tough luck. And because we spent so much time here, I don't think my team focused on taking down the other bomber group at all. And they could potentially really swing this. While our next set of AA bases come up and alive, it means that 29 seconds to activate, and it's not. We don't have 29 seconds before these bombers get to the next group. All right, something is definitely shooting at me. Okay, we need to get 6. Oh, we can only allow 6 bombs to get through. Come on. Bullied by a bot, but down to 8 bombers on that group. Come on, kill 2 more. You can do it. Again, if you can see here, this should not be happening. These should be spawning here and going there. As soon as you do this, you're just wasting firepower and resources. This is going to cost us the game. 2 multi-rolls and a heavy. I'm not sure what they were, but yeah, it's that is what is going to cost you the win every time. No worries, Klaus. Somebody's getting the vampire order. That's not fair. Yeah, the ME-210 was a was the alpha plane. I have the Pegasus and the XB-77, but not the other one. Right, so the next one is the Starfire. Now, the Starfire, I'm probably going to do a much better job on this one. You see the plays on there, but yeah, those there just wasn't enough work on there. Let's get this one. This should be a fairly in the bag game. I'll check my paint schemes. I can't remember which ones I chose. 3% cruise speed, nice resistances, cruise speed, nice resistances. I think that's purely down to looks on that one, I'm afraid. I like my shiny things. Yes, when you're defending, you very much need teamwork. You can't have people going off alone, hunting kills. It's one of those where heavy should be taking out ground attackers, don't get me wrong. But if you, like on that last one, the ground attackers, the multi-rolls and the heavies were doing the right thing in containing the ground attackers. But there is no point in doing that if a bomber flight has already taken out the base and is nearly at the objective. That's when you need to switch your priority, take care of the bombers. This should be a fairly reasonable game for this aircraft. Especially with tier 8, and this should be pretty promising. Basically, Q, can you see in the top of the screen 10 out of 10? That means that 10 bombers need to make it through to the other side of the map for the enemy team to win. My job is to make sure that 10 bombers don't make it through to the end of the map by the end of the game. I cannot believe my pilot just got sniped in that first pass. I'm going to guess that was a player that managed to take out my pilot so quickly, because that was vicious. Almost. Almost. Yeah, that first pass took off too many hit points too quickly. So that was definitely a player that popped up on me and then left me onto something. Nope, the Starfire has the same amount of rockets. It's just that the configuration, it now shows you exactly how many rockets you have, rather than how many groups of rockets you have. I play with a joystick, Dominic, but I don't use pedals. I do have some hot-ass joysticks in the office, but I've never done it before, so it'd be interesting. Yeah, the rocket display, I have reported it. It is being worked on, especially for the tier 10 BVP, so bear with. Three bombers left. We should have this group now. Okay, next one. Making sure I don't get picked up by an enemy player or anything. Boop. Let's go. As you can see here, our team hasn't focused too much on taking out ground attackers. You can see they're all clustered around these bombers so far. So we'll see if that keeps working. Yeah, I can do the 190L. I'll just add it to the list now. Right. That pancake is going to be vicious if he gets behind me. And this is why I said the Starfighter is probably going to be pretty decent in this game mode right now. Oh, oh, oh. That's the plane that's behind me, blowing me up. Yep. So there was the player in the attacker. Granted, ideally, I should have turned around and picked him up, but I was kind of hoping... I'll show you in a second. These people need to stop fighting here. I understand that they're being engaged, but they need to be focusing on this. They need to move. There are only 4 bombers on the way. I'm going to spawn here. And then if I die, which I'm going to try and do, I want to spawn here to deal with these. Because this is not being effective. Let's go. Use all the boost I can. I don't know if I'm going to get there in time. quickly finish this one off before it disappears. Nope, not enough time. But only one got through, I think. Yeah, only one. We can live with that. Now, where's my team relocated to? So we've got 3 people on that one. I need to try and race towards this next one. To specialize the air defense aircraft kills, you suffer a long and arduous, pointless grind. Q. Tough luck. The reason I'm going to try and take out this person first is because he's going to take out a teammate who is currently behind a bomber. Now I'm going to get picked up by the person that was remaining. I don't know if I'm going to get any help for it. We'll see. I am finding, surprisingly, that rocket kills are a little bit harder to do on these bombers than what would have probably been before. I think we just took... Yeah, we did take out that wave. So that means I can die now pretty peacefully. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Quick, boost. Boost. Quickly check Facebook. No, I can't check Facebook chat. No, yeah, I can. Yep, no movement there. So 12 bombers are making it through. We need to take out at least 4 of them. There's 2. Oh, that's a player. Yeah, I could feel that one coming. I'm not going to spawn in enough time. My teammates need to collapse in on them, which they are doing now. 7 are going to make it through. We should have this now. I should be able to spawn just in front of them and be able to do get a couple of interceptions in. So this is the 3rd and final phase. If we can prevent too many slipping through the gaps right now, we should be golden. So that's 2 left, and we just took a lot of hit points of damage for that. And there's the attacker again, but only 2 got through. I can deal with 2. 2's not too bad. The enemy team's completely out of position. So let's... No, too many ground attackers there. They're probably going to make their way through this one now. Last attack, and they only need 7 bombers to make it through. Let's try and deal with a couple of these planes to stop any element of spawn camping and try and reduce theirs. Now, ideally, I would prefer to not shoot these because that means that they're going to respawn closer to the fight. But if I leave them, they're going to keep shooting my teammates in the back. When I learn to aim. Oh, wow. Come on. Come on. Okay, we've got a lot of bombers to kill, guys. Starting off with 13 is quite a lot of hit points to chunk through. I don't think I got my rockets off in time. And there's that attack again. The attacker's doing a really good job in doing his role. He's doing a really fantastic job at defending. I would like to not be jumped on him quite so much with the amount of light fighters we've got on our team, but you can't expect too much from random players. Everybody would be very much playing for themselves, I think. But 2 enemies left on this formation, which means we might be able to have a nice big impact on this group. If we can make it so only 2 make through on this one, we might stand a better chance. Alright, boost there to make it into range, and then slow all the way down to maximize time on target. I can feel that attacker already. I can feel him. Once again, my teammate is not helping me with him. So it's a light fighter that's shooting the bomber. That's great. But please help with the person before it's too late. Right, we're unlimited respawns now. The enemy has a lot more respawns to go. 1 bomber is not too bad. We can sacrifice that. Okay. Come on. Race the target. Race the target. We need to avoid being shot by the IL because it will hurt. Right, we need to take out at least... well, we need to leave them with only 6 aerial targets to make through on this one. Four more to go. No. 5 more to go. Ta-da! And that should be the victory. And there's the attacker trying to get behind me again. It's not happening, friend. Interestingly, are we going to lose this now? Because this game should have ended.
Attention, all aircraft.
Yeah, that's rather odd because the game should have ended there. I'm not sure what happened right then. That should have been a win for us, a hard-fought win, but the game carried on long after it should have stopped. I'm trying to work out why that would have happened. There's a starfight done. So next one is 109B. Sorry, I'm just writing down that. Writing that down. How many was that? Kills? It should have been quite a fair few. Yeah, the 33 aerial targets is no small amount. I think that might be my new aerial target record. I don't have new planes to show you, unfortunately, Taylor. I do on the press account, but not on this one. So the bombers actually don't count as soon as the icons disappear. So it's rather odd that they carried on then. The game carried on after that. Most ground targets is that one. So yeah, it hasn't counted it. I'm not sure how many would have been then. But I'm pretty certain that will have been my highest target kills. Where's my... no, other way. Ground attackers are pretty effective at the moment, as long as your team doesn't do silly things. Such as in that last game, we actually should have won. Their attacker did a really good job of defending because our light fighters were focusing so much on the bombers, they weren't looking at things behind teammates again. There was way too much kill goggling going on. Aircraft experience. I'm not bothered about aircraft experience, but I do want crew experience. No. 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 There we go. That's the cruise speed that we wanted. See? Shiny's the way forward. So let's play that one there. Yeah, the thing is, Klaus, the game doesn't count kills usually on any aircraft in the game if it's air defense aircraft or bomber flights. Well, let's have a look at what we got to do here. Tier 5 game's going to be pretty difficult.
Attention, you are entering the zone controlled by the enemy.
Alright, so first things first, let's take care of this escort to this left sector.
Pilots, get ready for action. Let's go.
Let's have a look at what the team's doing. Ground attackers should be going to that sector, which they are. Some are going to this one. I love my shiny plane so much. Gonna try and drag the enemy up a little bit. It's not gonna be as effective as what would normally happen because, of course, tier 5 game. I can already feel somebody behind me, but I need to try and help kill off the light fighter a little bit. We're having some serious registration issues on our hits. And there's the 109E that I thought was dead, but clearly wasn't. But because so many people didn't kill the bombers, hopefully they will make it through. No, they're going to mince these bombers up because not enough work's going on them. There you go. Because the AA guns weren't taken out, because people went for the other sector, that's how drastically the AA guns can diminish your bomber group. Not one bomber made it through. That is not good. here comes a bazillion enemies. Focusing on the ones that are going after these bombers. It was the 109E and the 109B. Okay, 9 bombers maybe make it through. Not enough AA guns got taken out in this other sector. And this is where you see the how important it is to have your ground attack aircraft do a good job in taking them out. If they don't, you're just such a disadvantage. AA guns are absolutely deadly to these bombers. There's that one. We don't want to focus too much on this if it's not a light fighter, which is not. Light fighters are our biggest threat in this game mode, which is that one there. The more I can keep the enemy here, the better it is for my group, but I don't think they're doing anything with it, unfortunately. Oh, always shiny. Shiny is the way forward. Shiny is the best. Alright, so our bomber group is spawning. And it looks like Defender's going to win this quite comprehensively in this next one. Yeah, I love just anything that improves speed is usually all good in my books. Right, we are going to try and stay with the bombers a little bit more this time. Maybe that'll help, but I have little faith in my team in this game, unfortunately. I've not seen a whole lot of teamwork or cohesive organization up to this point. There's the 109B that took me out. Oh no, I'm AFK. Whatever shall I do? And then the one that's going after the bombers. That'll do nicely. And I can see the AA guns on that sector, again, aren't being taken out enough. You can tell by the number next to the AA gun installation part there. And, yeah, there are way too many still alive. That was an interesting approach from the 109E there. He would have been far better off actually trying to help the team. So that's a little bit of an odd decision. Yeah, I'm one AA puff of smoke away from imploding. Unfortunately, this'll be interesting. Oh no! Instead, we get rammed by teammate. Right, let's flip that forward sector, which means we're going to be able to spawn here. Again, ground attackers, I think they spawn in the south sector, so they're behind massively. That means this group is going to get wiped out. And then we need to try and defend the second group instead. Do. Roll over, and there's that view. One thing I do like about this game mode is that you're not really able to stop that much. It's a very, very busy game mode. You find yourself I can't think of the word now. Enclosed in the action. Let's have a look. Right, we've got him to turn. I don't know if it was away or to the bombers. Again, with the registration issues, unfortunately. Oh, wow. That means that I've done a lot of assisting in this game. Shoot! Shoot! That's... I think we might actually pull this one off, purely because we got 11 out of the 10 required to the sector. That's actually pretty promising. As long as they don't kill too many now, we might actually pull this off. Miraculously. Oh no, there's 10. Dun dun. Dun dun. Way! Like I said, don't you dare cheat me out of this one again.
I'm proud of you, pilots. Head back home.
Facebook chat is doing okay so far. Minimum you can buy is 100 watts. Sorry, Katya. Uh, 109B. Tornado is next. Just waiting for my hangar to load. I am curious how many assists I got for that. Ah, yeah, the 11. I didn't think I had that many assists in that game. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Okay, Klaus, hope you have a wonderful set of games and many victories, unless I'm on the enemy team, in which case, please lose. I am curious how this one will go with event camouflage. 5% aircraft experience. See, I would like these benefits, but there's no way I'm giving up that shiny armor pieces on there. What we're actually going to do for this game mode is have a change of plan, which is boop and boop. Hello, Wargaming Games. Let's have a quick look at that. And hello, Chris Cloud. How are you doing, Cloud? I believe that was just a check, just to make sure that... Oh, sorry. I believe that was a check just to make sure that the chat wasn't all kinds of funky. Aloha, Erwin. How are you doing today?
Attention. You are entering the combat zone. Get ready for battle. Good luck.
This aircraft, the rockets aren't going to be that great against these bombers, but the firepower on this should be absolutely immense for what I'm going to be trying to do. Well, you're more than welcome, Erwin. If you've got any questions or anything you want to see,
Let's roll.
just shoot. Feel free to point it out. I'm not sure why that is, Katya. If you have a quick poke. Ah, you see, this is going to be unfortunate. I'm on attacker with this aircraft. It's not the best thing in the world. It's going to be pretty good at taking out AA guns, maybe. Yeah, first blood. Hit that stall button to try and get behind him. There we go, just enough. Unfortunately, we do have somebody behind me. It's a double tornado flight, I believe. Is it? It's not a tornado flight, but it is two tornadoes. Stalling is the way to go. At the minute, this is the bomber escort mode, Scully. This is the new game mode that only just started. Did enough bombers? Not enough bombers are going to get through. Again, I'm not sure where our ground attackers are. Are they all bots? I think they're all bots, which would explain quite a lot. So, how's everybody finding the bomber escort mode so far? I can already see some people having curious about the balancing as defenders, which of course people are more than welcome to put up on the feedback and the patch feedback threads. The more feedback there is, the easier it is to action and work upon. Oh, look at all those AA guns doing so much damage. That's not good. Those AA guns are pretty nasty. Let's deal with that person turning. I can hear a lot of explosions over a short period of time, which means everybody's dying somewhere. Yeah, if you're in a ground attacker, you will be on the attacking side. You will never be on defenders as a ground attacker or as a bomber. And what makes you hate it so much, Jordan? So for Dimmy, who asked earlier, can you destroy the AA guns before they spawn? As you can see here, there's definitely nothing there. My team is getting pulled out of this sector way too much. Way too much. 2, 1, and let's try and take it down. At least one AA gun. That worked, I think. Armored AA guns, I'm not going to do very much to at all. I'm not sure what my teammates are helping to take out the AA guns, unfortunately. Hopefully that's enough. Hit the brakes, because that's a light fighter. Trying to hit the stall. Oh, that would explain why I'm not able to shake him, because my ground attacker is turn fighting with him. Awesome. Let's have a look what we got to do. Again, ground attacking player. Well, I say the ground attacking. So the guys in the bots aren't taking out enough AA guns right now, and it's really hurting us in this game. Finally got into that first sector, which is good. Right, let's have a quick look at the rest. I love the sound when you fly near these bombs, though. The roaring thunder. Okay, while we're busy admiring the sound, somebody's trying to shoot us. We're not going to bother trying to take out the AA guns this time, because there is just not enough support coming on there. Ground attackers are finally going for it, so we might try and help them. What altitude is that next one at? Let's deal with this first, and then we'll worry about the Spitfire. Maybe. Spitfire is coming up closer. Right, so what we're going to try and do now is try and bait the Spitfire out of the sector, or at least away from the ground attackers so they can do their job. That will do nicely. Now what we've got that's going to... right now I'm being the sacrificial lamb. I just purely want to make sure that my my ground attackers and the bombers at the very least can make it through with little or no attention from the enemy team. So the more I can stay here and distract them, the better it is for my team and the bombers. Hit the stall. Boost the stall. And boop. Okay, 10 bombers remaining. Let's see what happens in there. Yes, that was a giant battleship that you saw just then. There's the Spitfire that I was worried about before. Oh no, one bomber short. Just one, but it's putting us in a good position for this next phase. It means that we actually stand a chance this time. I'm not sure what you're asking there, sorry, Greg. I don't like this AA gun. Hopefully, my team will come and take those out a little bit sooner this time. Yes, they are only in the bomber escort mode. Climbing, climbing. Don't think I'm going to get there enough. And the enemy are on the way. Oh, was that a rocket? Yeah, it was a rocket. But I damaged his engine, so he's now very much in a very bad position. Ground attackers are doing their job. Nope, still not destroying enough AA guns. But we either get these bombers through, or this is GG. I definitely feel that the games are longer at lower tiers. This could be because the increased number of players, so obviously people a different balance. But I've noticed that there aren't as many ground attacker players at these lower mid tiers. Yeah, you're not the only one to report that queue. Somebody on Facebook has mentioned that they were booted back into the hangar. I have had a couple of registration issues in the game. I don't know if it's server related with everybody playing, of course, and surprising the server. The aircraft should come back to you by the end of the battle. Should. It shouldn't get locked in as before because of the PvE games. So here's the shiny battleship that somebody was asking about earlier. Okay, we should have this. As long as we don't lose too many bombers to these AA guns. And to be fair, there are a lot of AA guns left. And not a lot of people shooting at them. But maybe it's enough. Maybe. The enemy's down to 5 spawns. If in doubt, use your face. Hopefully that was enough to make sure we got at least one bomber through. No. For some reason, we've got people not shooting the people shooting the bombers. Hopefully, yeah, they are ground attackers, so that's okay. Come on. Just one. We just need one bomber. 5 left. Go! Go, bombers, go! This is going to be extremely close. Yeah! We just got there.
Great job today. We'll be waiting for you back home.
Ooh, what's that one? How to play it, there isn't too much at the moment. There's a tutorial in-game. But for the most part, that's the idea of the stream, is trying to help people and show people. If you're not sure how to play it, you need to ask. It took a lot of work to understand this game mode and playing it as effectively as I do. Just checking. Okay, Facebook is still going. Right, so there's a tornado, and then somebody asked for a 109 TL and the build. That's quite a nice bunch of credits there. Okay. Okay. So we did finally get this one done. Need to get 300 capture points at a single sortie. That means we're going to need to play a ground attacker on the next one. And then that one, and then that one. That's going to take a while. 109 TL. Where have you gone? Scrolling. Okay, where's there it is. Hi Angel, how you doing? Let's have a look on this one. We are actually going to swap out that skill. So what I've gone is scope the sights, because the mixed caliber on this plane mean it's pretty difficult to lead with accurately. I've then chosen speed because it doesn't do maneuverability that well, but speed is its saving grace, and then of course more speed. Forward firing weaponry I wasn't too sure on at the time. I believe I'm going to go with rate of fire, so we'll see. I don't know if this is going to be a good choice or not. And then actually, I want to take this to reduce the effects of that one, and then I need to stay with that, and that should do. We've got the shiny camo that gives us the 3% cruise speed on there. Nose art and emblem art on there. Should all be good. And let's get back into the battle. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the event. How are you finding all the AA changes and everything? I believe if you put shiny paint on your car, you will get 100% speed. Right, I don't trust Facebook chat right now, so I'm just going to quickly refresh it because... Yep, there we go. Everybody's gone quiet on Facebook, but that's not the end of the world.
The area of combat operations. Be ready.
Well... let's have a look at what we're going to do. We are on defense. Definitely need to deal with that 1099 B2.
Let's go.
You see, as a ground attacker, you actually have a huge amount of influence because you're... I don't know, have you actually seen what happens to the bombers if you don't take out the AA guns? Hi Greg, I should do a giveaway, but it depends on how many people in chat. The last couple of weeks, the chat's actually been pretty quiet, so I've not done any giveaways. Instead, what I've been doing is using those prizes to do contests and things like that on Facebook, etc. I love the 109 TL. I think it's a very sexy looking plane, especially with the shiny camo, but I struggle... and I really do struggle with the mixed caliber AA guns. I don't like mixed caliber gun aircraft. For the AA guns, Angel, if you don't take out any AA guns in the sectors, the sector can actually take out an entire bomber flight. None of them make it through if you don't destroy any AA guns. So yeah, it's no good. The AA guns are absolutely vicious. Because we haven't lost too many AA guns here, you should actually see this now. Can you see how the second flight is down to 7 aircraft? And watch them get just minced by AA guns. And then wait for a bit more. AA guns. And this is what it looks like when you don't deal with them. Yes, I know a lot of people, myself included, when I first looked at this game mode, I was like, oh, so they've got to get to the sector. And then it was a case of, oh, they don't actually need to get to the sector, they just need to get to the edge of the map and fly over the sector. Ah, that makes sense now. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it. Nope. Oh no! I tried to bomb him. It didn't work. Well, that's the idea of this one, Angel, is that the reason I'm streaming for so long tonight is I really want to showcase what the game mode should look like and how's the best way to play it and the tactics that... Yeah, I tried. Right, let's get some altitude this time. This is the last aircraft on the request list, so unless there's any specific requests after this, what I will do is I will actually play the IL-40P next. Okay, so I've got a message on Discord, and unfortunately that's somebody asking me for some attention which I can't give right. I will be streaming until 8:30, Angel. Yes, I did notice that, and I did smirk a little bit at the fact that the mic does look like it's attached to the plane. Oh, yeah! Rocket exchange. So overall, though, how do people feel about this asymmetrical layout on the bomber event? Do they like the way that the maps are laid out and things like that, and spawns, or is there something you feel that could be improved? I do know one thing that people were worried about, and I've seen a lot of candid feedback with regards to is the AA changes, and some people were worried about the effects of movement, and they feel that the AA was buffed. Now, overall, I think that it's a good change because, of course, you're rewarded for doing what you should do and punished for not doing what you should do, which I think is how it should be. But, of course, I'm not the only player in the game. Oop. Let's have a look. ME262 without a tail. I think if you've got a 262 without a tail, it is always a bad move, Bartek. There's definitely something wrong with your plane if you don't have a tail on it. Overcommitted. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Oop. Nope. I will bomb a bomber. It will happen. For that one, Erwin, it has been asked previously, a long time ago, and it is highly unlikely. Now, originally, a long time ago, roughly World of Tanks Beta and Planes Alpha, that was a plan that they wanted, but the problem you had was balancing-wise, because the range at which a battleship could shoot at a tank would be before a tank could even respond to the battleship. And of course then you've got planes, etc. And it's a case of how do you balance all those different elements out properly without completely breaking the game and annoying everybody and having people just play a battleship, etc. Now, I do think, personally, I'm not saying this is a wargaming standpoint or anything, but I do think that planes and ships would synchronize very well in unified game/game mode, but again, it's the balancing aspect of it. You don't want to alienate too many of your current players by making something that they don't enjoy. Okay, none of the bombers made it through. This is a good move. I'm not sure what it is that's trying to get behind me, but we're not going to make it easy for them. Whoop. No, he turned. Right, bombers are going to be spawning soon. The more of these enemies that we can put a dent in now reduces their respawns. Alright, let's try and quickly get to that next one. Then I don't know what to suggest in queue because it shouldn't actually happen anymore. Now, the thing with when you say crazy, ridiculous missions, Greg, I understand that they can be quite grindy, etc. But they're also tier 8 premium that is brand new to the game. You can't have it too easy, because otherwise there would be no reason for anybody to try and get them. And yes, the general consensus was quick, fast-paced games are more popular than slower games, unfortunately, for people who like the slower games. When you, for instance, if you look at any other wargaming title that has marathons or events for tier 8s, I actually find them far more challenging than the events to get tier 8s in World of Warplanes. Da, da. If you can't complete it in the 24 hours, you can use tokens to extend it after all. Which shouldn't be too bad, and should help you get a nice chunk of progress. As you see there, Angel, if you're still here, that's the bombers disappearing in front of my eyes. That's the AA at work. That's how effective it can be in decimating the hit point pools of them. Ooh, that's a teammate. So tokens extend the mission, certificates skip the mission. Of course, it's up to you which one you want to use or try. Well, thankfully, Erwin, this kind of game mode does lend more to tactical gameplay, which I like. I do enjoy this. It's why I like asymmetrical maps as a general, and why I loved Invasion game mode. But I do know it was unpopular because people don't like the element of tactics that are involved in that. Oh, that's a risk. That was a silly risk, but a risk I think might pay off, maybe? Oh. Okay, I can't die now. With these limited respawns, if I die now, this is going to be so disappointing. Ooh, those were rockets. Now, you see, that's what should have happened in that Starfire game. That's when it should have ended, but it didn't. So this isn't the 262, this is the 109TL, which is why it turns a little bit better, because it's not a heavy, it's a multi-roll. The reason for certificates is because some people don't want to use their tokens to extend the mission even further. For me, I mean, certificates are there for people who have money but don't have time and just literally want to throw it at the screen. If they want to do that, that is their choice. It's their money after all. And it allows those people with limited time to be able to get aircraft that they really enjoy. Sorry, I was just checking because my missions weren't progressing in it, but they seem to have tracked now. And I think that might just been the different tiers I was at. I was playing the IL-40P for my mission. You could do it with tokens in the last event, but the issue was with the sale of tokens, and that whole system. A lot of people are spending tokens on buying the crates rather than using it for other things right now. A lot of people's stockpile of tokens has reduced dramatically. What you can now have is in the crates that you earn from the event, you can drop certificates, so just save them up and use them to be able to skip the missions. You're doing too much talking again. You see, Q, you're down to your last 1,000 tokens. But since the last event to now, as you can see, I've gone from 1,000 tokens to 300. You couldn't buy tokens with real money. That was the problem, Greg. You can't buy tokens with real money. You can only buy them with gold at certain periods of the month. And there was an issue with selling tokens on EU for the entirety of the last event where we could only have them on sale for 2 days. Yeah, you see, buying tokens with real money is a grey area, and because you can earn tokens every day through the missions.
Attention, you are entering the zone controlled by the enemy.
Alright, let's have a look on this one. It is pretty odd that that happened, Q. I've not had any reports of it, so try and make sure you drop the report onto the bugs channel if you can, please. Well, let's make a big dent on these AA guns. Well, that's where I was talking about, Greg, in that there is an issue in buying tokens right now, and that you can't buy tokens with gold. You can try it yourself, and it's not there, and there's an issue with that sale on EU. So people couldn't buy the tokens to skip the missions. Oh, wow, that's too much. The issue wasn't something they could fix, Greg. It wasn't a bug. Right, I think I'm going to actually need to help my teammate here. Dogfighting GA! No! Oh man, he died anyway. Let's take out that one, and then maybe this one with a bomb. Oh, that'll do. Free kill. Oh, no. Too much. Too much. I'm not at liberty to disclose what the issue was, but it was an EU-specific problem, Greg. Token sales were possible on RU and NA, and that's why I said it wasn't a bug. It was very specific to EU. Right, let's try and get that on there. So Bartek, the joystick setup guide, we're hoping to get sorted sometime next week. Oh man, the C6 I imagine will be fantastic in this game mode, and the F4Us will have very reliable firepower to be able to do this as well. Three, two, one, and... Didn't take it out. Can't believe it. I was hoping my teammate didn't drop the bomb then. This is good news. I'm not a big fan of the DO-335. I think there are better aircraft at Tier 8 that will do the job. I didn't like the plane overall. I much preferred the XF-15. Get off my teammates. You see, there's the big chunk of server lag right there. That was a lot of server lag right then. Oh, I might accidentally kill somebody with a rear gunner. That feels like a Thunderbolt, maybe? Oh, don't drop a bomb, don't drop a bomb. I thought I'd kill the ground target, and I didn't. Oh no, there we go. This is not so great for me. We should win this though, because there's a lot of bombers to make it through. Yes, dogfighting and ground attack is the worst. But I actually don't think I have anything to do now. Oh no, there we go. So phase 3 is here. The enemy team has got some work to do taking these out. Looks like they've got plenty of firepower to do it though. I think... I can't remember how much I needed to get my mission done. I think we only need 4 bombers after that. Oh no. Even less. 3. I'll take 3. Oh, what? He stole it. No, let's not fight over the same targets, because that never ends well. That's even less optimal, having the ground target disappear. Thank you, Goran. Very much appreciated. quickly boost to the next sector before those bombers wipe it out. I don't think I'm going to get there in time. I think we won this too quickly. I was hoping they'd be able to take out another one, give me some time at some ground targets, but didn't happen. Okay, so there's that one. And do I have a plane request? I think that was my last one. P38J. And then the BVP 215. Which one, Q? I'm hoping I got my that mission done for the bomber. It's taken a while to load, so it looks like we could have done. No. Yes? Yeah, I forgot about that, where it's not wind-based anymore. So we've got that one. We've made a big dent on that one. We haven't done that one, and we definitely haven't played any of those. Operational order. What did I need to do? Capture points in a single sortie. Well, that's going to take some doing in a game mode that doesn't have capture points. Oh dear. So, P38J. Engine power, we want this one. I'm actually going to go with that one. Definitely that one. Repair and ammo, and let's go. Rockets and that. Doop. And doop and doop. No, no, no. Yeah, 8-ball it is. Let's go. So after this, it was to be tier 10. If I remember, it's the 215 has a .03 at the end of it. Toodaloo Dimmy, thanks for dropping by. So tier 10 BVP, then the pancake. Oh. Loading time and queue time. Okay. This will be interesting. At least I'm in a decent heavy fighter for this sort of thing.
Entering the combat zone. Get ready for battle. Good luck. Pilots, get ready for action. Let's go.
Bum 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 bum. The only reason I use the 8-ball on this plane as a nose art is just because it looks like eyes. This should be able to take out the bombers pretty effectively, because I don't think they have enough time to be able to take out too many AA guns. There's that dealt with. We finally put enough lead on there. It took a couple of rockets to find the aim though. I'm hoping that these AA guns will start kicking in a little bit sooner. Because right now, they don't seem to be doing a whole lot of damage to these bombers. Climb up again. Okay. Should only be 2 more bombers. Let's try and take out these aircraft that are shooting teammates. And that's a good start. And now boost towards the enemy formation, because too many are making it through. I'm not going to be able to do enough damage to these, I don't think. Although my teammate are turning up, so we might stand a chance at this, but so many hit points to go through. I think we're going to get one more pass in this before we have to abort maneuver. That was a good job. Managed to pull it off in the end. I can feel somebody trying to line up behind me. What do you mean? Do you mean why do I dive with this heavy fighter in particular, or? No, it's time to bail. Too many enemies are going to be able to line up on our backside for this. You see, with other aircraft, I was usually the only one in range of the bombers, so I had to kind of slow down so much for the firepower. With this, you can kind of get away with swooping around and buying yourself a little bit of time. It was mostly looking to see how much damage I needed to do with the bombers right then and there, or whether I could afford to disengage for a little while and then come back. Oh, that's going to be the floor. There's a lot of bombers. Many, many bombers. Yeah, let's try and get there very, very quickly. What we got? That one. The rear gunner, not AA5, sorry, are going to do some serious damage to me if I'm not careful. I think that was a rocket kill, but it didn't seem to count it. At least that group should be okay now. Need to spawn on this side and try and deal with that one. That should get taken out, I think, by my teammate. Yep, there we go. And then let's see what we can do. Is that 2? Yeah, we can afford to disengage and get to that next bomber flight. I'm hoping that because they haven't taken out too many of these AA guns, I just need to do a little bit of a dent in these things to be able to hold it out. Just trying to stop him from taking out the AA guns with ease. And then we're going to disengage and get back onto the bombers. Unless this is the 410 that's coming to say hello, which it is. It was a very cheap tactic, but it was the most effective for how quickly I needed to get rid of that enemy then on my tail. Maybe... Oh no, there should be one more phase left, I believe. Feel like I should be able to repair in between these times. Thank you, Time Warp. Let's try and get... Yeah, we should be okay to try and make a bit of a dent. We can't let this person get behind us again. I know my teammates are probably going to pick him up, but we need to make sure. Not sure what it is. Ground attacker. Fighter's gonna be a problem. having a couple of registration issues right now, unfortunately. That's severely impacting our ability to do a good job at taking out these ground attackers. Oh, 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 oh. Those are forward-firing guns. I've lost way too much speed right now to be effective in this engagement for too much longer. And while he's dogfighting me like this, the AA guns are going to do absolutely immense damage to those bombers. Might get one more turn out before we get killed by the enemy that was behind us. Maybe. Nope, too much lead. He's trying, bless him. Boop. It does sound like you maybe possibly need to try and repair your game files. Q. Because I've not had anybody really reporting any crashes. I've heard people being kicked back to the hangar, but no game crashes, and definitely not frequent ones. Okay, we need to kill 6 of their bombers. Thanks. It was a last-ditch attempt. Made it funny. Stop shooting my teammate, please. Oh god. He's got more teammates. Who is that that's behind me? Somebody who's been determined to kill me for a while. Oh, look at those AA guns chewing things up.
Great job today. We'll be waiting for you back home.
Ta-da! I think that was a perfect defense then. We didn't lose any points, which is pretty cool. So tier 10 PvP was the next request. And for anybody who's new or maybe hasn't been watching for too long, has anybody got any questions over the new game mode, tactics, any questions about the camouflage effects or anything like that? Number 2. Just number 2. These goals are very ambitious, I think. I know that I'm supposed to be using these to kind of judge what I should be doing in battles, but I'm kind of finding that they're not relevant to the way you should win. The camo system I actually like. It's not exactly where I would like. But the way I look at it is that you gain bonuses by using certain camo. If you want to go for looks, as you like myself, I've always done, I'm not actually going to lose anything. But yeah, at least the option's there if you want it. I like the emblem and the nose art system. I would prefer it if some of the shiny or universal camo had slightly different benefits, maybe. But the camo system is due to, it will continuously be reviewed, etc. I find some camouflage paint schemes to not be that good looking compared to shiny ones, for example. Look at this giant batarang. It's huge. Now, this is where you will see the new UI issue with the rocket display. It is known. I have reported it. It's been worked on. But this is what happens when you have 56 rockets in the nose and the game tries to display them all on the screen. But yeah, back to camouflage. I like how it's actually got a purpose now, I think. Whereas previously it definitely didn't. Wow, that's a lot of enemies and ground attackers. Oh, I'm going too fast. There's one. Am I going to go too fast for this one? Yes, I am. And that one. I didn't think I'd be too quick for both. Is that a ground attacker that's shooting me? I think it was. I love the pilot rocket skill. I think the rocket skill for the pilots is phenomenal. What are my missions, by the way? So, enemy aircraft destroyed, destroyed with assistance, and strategic bombers destroyed. What is that shooting me again? Is that another ground attacker trying to shoot at me? I will be less than pleased. Oh, led too much. I think I just killed a ground attacker with a rear gunner though. That was pretty good achievement. So the pilot rocket skill actually works by... Oh dear. Are they going to make it through? No. Actually works by adding a proximity fuse. So the rockets do a little bit more damage, but they actually explode if they get close enough to the enemy target that you're pointing at. The specialist icon, as far as I know, there are no plans to remove it. As far as it's there so people can see what's the most dangerous aircraft. Yeah, so ram kills now, because of course with the changes they made to the game, that they no longer assured mutual destruction, meant that they weren't as rewarding and people didn't just do it to get the kills and be over and done with. Of course, with the respawns as well, they weren't as much of a frustrating factor as they were originally, when it was, oh, ram kill and dead, tough luck. Can't believe I'm having to ram this because my guns are overheated. It does have brakes, but I don't like slowing down too much in this thing because it's bad news. Okay, let's do this. Okay, that wasn't effective at that range. It looked pretty though, right? Ramming kill. Yeah, I was too far away for that to be as effective as what it could have been. If I'd have been a little bit closer, it would have been better. But I thought, go for glory. I do think these are possibly set a little too high, but that can be done. That can be rebalanced with time. Oh, these bombers in this group they are so heavily armored and they have so many hit points. They, at least with the others, usually when you ram them you can take them out, but right now they seem to take a lot of rocket damage to take down, and you can't kill them anywhere near as much. But when I do, it will be glorious, glorious. Quick boost to the next one. But for those people who don't like these larger rockets on this aircraft, I find them especially useful. Longer range rocket kills and taking out those ground attackers that are pesky. Right, I was hoping to take him out so as I don't get shot in the back, but no such luck. I'm actually going to get bullied now. I'm not sure where my teammates are. Come on. You can do this. That was a bigger dent than I thought we'd put in these things. Oh, that one's vicious though. And this is where I'm now at that slow and that close to stalling that the enemy, you can't stay on target on me long enough. He got me in the end. I actually think the BVP is a really good option for this because of the amount of rockets that you can carry. Heavy, I would probably say the Javelin. Light Fighter, the 1101. And multi-role, either the J7 or take the I-215. Yeah, so all rockets are unguided. The dispersion, if they're cluster firing, there's no set dispersion, I don't believe, in terms of stats, but the further you are away, the worse it gets, of course, and they do less damage as a result. I missed them all. Four bombers left. I'm too close to stalling to get away with this much longer. Nope. Nope. Something's shooting at me and it's really starting to irritate me now. I have an idea as a player based on how much he's stayed behind me for this long. It is a player. It's a player and a ground attacker. That makes more sense now. Let's have a look. These are going to spawn at the same time. The only reason I'm going to spawn here is because it's out the way. I might be able to have a clear run at these enemy bombers. We've done a good job at defending this one, actually. The enemy team, because there's so many ground attackers, have definitely dominated the AA fight. But they've got nobody taking out the bombers themselves. Well, escorting the bombers, sorry. So that means that I'm, for example, and my teammates are able to just have a field day with them. Let's boost. The reason I'm firing my rockets is hopefully they recharge in time when I get to the enemy bombers, but we'll see. Hold on. Yeah, I was going to say, that middle bomber flight suddenly spawned in the middle, and I was a little bit dubious. I wasn't too happy about that. Luckily, it went back to where it should have been. Right. Might have a nice, juicy free run on these bombers. I doubt it. I think there's going to be teammates here in time. Enemies in time. Okay, yeah, I get it. I'm being shot at. Could you please lock onto it so as I know what I need to aim at? I can't believe he's going to try and outstall me. This is the downside to the really high level bots at this tier, is they don't fall for those tricks. Hopefully, though, because I made him stall out pretty much, he's not able to catch up to my teammate, who is behind the bombers and just left me to die. Bit of a UI bug there, sorted by pressing enter twice. Take those out. Can't afford 6 to get... How is the 6 getting through on the other flank? We have a load of teammates over there. Free run on these, maybe? No. We've got enemies spawning on here. Ruining all the fun. Seriously. I swear I fired all my rockets, but nothing happened. This game mode is very busy compared to the others, I think. I want to see if I actually fired. I did fire some rockets, they just didn't do anything. Okay. Are we really going to let 4 bombers get through on the other flank? It's a ground attacker that's behind me and I can't slow down in time for him. And once again though, this is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to look here. Yeah. Bots are being pulled out of position and they're going to win this. Ah, that's unfortunate. We might have stood a chance, but their ground attacker took the fight, started dogfighting with the ground attackers, and that really left it as a disadvantage. No, there is a lot of people are struggling to understand what you need to do in this game mode to win. I do find that these missions, these tasks are actually pretty difficult and probably discourage you from doing what you should be doing to win. I was much better off destroying ground attackers, which is this category, But this category is pretty hard to achieve and meant that if you do one, you can't do the other in this game mode. You're stuck, you choose this or this. It's very difficult to do both. And then this should be my last game in the pancake. Pancake was the final request on this to do. It should be one of the strongest planes to do. The F-94D was a phenomenal game and would have been an amazing defense, but for some reason the game wouldn't end, so we lost, unfortunately. That was rather upsetting. We're not doing too bad on the community goal, though. We are nearly 20% there with only 3.5 hours into the event, which is not too bad at all. Might be a quick game on this one. So the event ends, I can't remember the exact date, but it is sometime early November. And you have the same as last time. There will be 4 weekends of the event. Way! And there's the crash on the game. We're just going to go there. Let me try and get back into the game. Hopefully it lets me back in, otherwise we're going to call it there. I did reply to Angel. I put a lot of thought into my answer as well, and you ignored it. How could you? So close. We're loading. We're loading. Yep, there we go. There isn't a list, Greg. I don't think. No, it is set, but I don't think I've seen the list myself. There probably is somewhere, but I haven't been able to find it. Okay. Having crashed at the start, I am at a huge disadvantage now. Pretty hard aiming at this range. Okay, that's somebody shooting us. Yeah, 1092. It's a tier 9 game, which is going to make things a lot harder. This is a poor use of this guy's plane. He should not be going for ground attackers in that aircraft. So I said for light fighters, 1092. Multi-rolls either the tier 10 BVP or the I-215, maybe the J7W3. Heavy fighters, I would choose the Javelin. Ground attackers, IL-40P. What else would you take? And for the bombers, we don't have a tier 10 yet, so no options there, I'm afraid. The hell is doing all that damage? There's definitely somebody shooting me that I can't see there. The Pancake was a real aircraft. It did fly. It was phenomenally successful. Because it's just that jet planes came into play and it kind of became superfluous. Ah, yes, there is a heavy fighter there that I just did not see. Come on, spawn. I don't have enough time. Shoe Pancake. Oh, that rocket kill was glorious. I'm quite happy at that rocket kill. The light fighter I mentioned was the 1101. The closest you can get with the stall maneuver is what I was trying then behind the bombers, but somebody blew me up for my troubles. Oh, come on, guys. You can't let all of these bombers get through. Well, I took out a couple on there. Toodaloo, Angel. No ejectable rocket boosters on aircraft. The closest, I think, the planes... Well, it depends on when you last played, Erwin, actually. If ramming was an issue when you last played, it would have been quite a while ago, I think. Are these the ground attackers having a field day? Yes, they are. Oh, I didn't see him drop the bomb. I was hoping I'd be able to get him and then keep some AA guns, but nope. Tier 5. Tier 5 is a little bit harder. The bow fighter, definitely for the heavies. Light fighter, 109E or the Spitfire, maybe? Multi-role, Yak. What else have we got? Light fighter, multi-role, ground attacker. Definitely the IL. Yeah, there's no ejectables, unfortunately. I believe. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We're actually going to... You know what? I'll try and defend more AA guns this time rather than going for bombers, and we'll see if that helps. can see his sparkles, but I'm not registering any hits, unfortunately. Are those ground attackers there already? They must be spawning very, very close. What have we got? Enemy strategic bombers destroyed with assistance. Okay, so the same categories, no matter the plane class, I believe. Oh, set on fire a second time. Yeah, it's a J7. He's going to eat me alive. How you doing, waifu? Okay, no worries. Win, thank you very much for dropping by. I won't be on too much longer. This will very much be my last game. Unfortunately, it's overrunning because of the crash, but... hopefully, no, too many bombers got through. We end on a defeat.
Attention, all aircraft. Fall back and regroup.
Oh, that was unfortunate. So, thank you very much, everybody, for dropping by. Thank you again for supporting, joining chat, asking questions. If you have any questions or need to know anything about the game mode or event, come on to Discord. Join in the forums, ask any questions there. There were none that turned up, so I haven't been able... There's nothing I can pass on to developers ready for the video they're going to try and make tomorrow. In terms of giveaway, Greg, there aren't enough people to really do a giveaway with. Maybe if you're joining on the forums, I'll see what I can do on there. Otherwise, I want to thank you all for dropping by again. I hope you all have a nice weekend. Have a wonderful event. Hopefully you'll drop a vampire. If you do, or you don't want it, pass it on to me. And yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the skies.